Guys, I want to thank the sponsors of the podcast. I want to thank GoHunt.com, my friend Cody Nelson, the glassing guru, the optics authority. He's the optics manager at GoHunt.com. If you have any interest in buying optics or have any glassing questions, whether it be tripods, spotting scopes, rifle scopes, range finders, anything to do with glassing, give Cody a call, 702-847-8747. That's extension 2, or you can email him at optics@gohunt.com. You can also send him a text or call him on his cell phone at 602-399-3699. Guys, right now at GoHunt.com Insider, you can take advantage of the free trial. Go to GoHunt.com/JScott. You're going to be able to take advantage of a free trial of the Insider. GoHunt is always adding more value for their Insider members. They've now added real 3D maps as a part of Insider for no additional cost. What an incredible value. Very soon they're going to have their mobile app up as well. Go to GoHunt.com/JScott and sign up for a free trial. If you're already an Insider member, it's automatically part of your Insider membership. And you can just go to the Maps tab up at the top once you sign in as an Insider. I also want to thank KUIU Ultralight Hunting. That's the gear that I wear on all of my hunts. To find out more, you can go to KUIU.com, KUIU.com. They're a direct-to-consumer company. They sell everything off of the KUIU.com website. I also do a lot of question and answer on my Instagram where I'm answering questions about guys wanting to know about gear about KUIU, so tune into my Instagram. I want to thank KUIU for their sponsorship. I also want to thank phonescope.com. Use the JScott20 promo code. You're going to get a 10% discount on all orders. And I want to thank allelk.com, home of the Bugle Mule. Use the JSO10 to save 10% on all orders. The Bugle Mule attaches to your bugle, and it's a great little carrier that holds 3 elk calls right there on your bugle tube, and I can't wait to use it this season. Again, thanks to all the sponsors of my podcast. Guys, welcome to the J. Scott Outdoors podcast. Today we've got Trevor Marques of Bull Ridge Guide Service out of Nevada. Trevor, how you doing?
Doing good, Jay. How are you doing?
Good. I'm looking forward to talking to you to get kind of a report on how things are looking there for primarily for elk and mule deer there in Nevada this year.
All right. Yeah, it's been pretty good for elk for sure. Deer, we haven't quite seen as many good bucks as last year. And again, though, we've kind of been more focusing on elk right now.
Yeah, so I would assume that you had pretty good winter moisture. What about your summer moisture? What are conditions like out there?
It was pretty good at the start, but, for the past month and a half, it's been pretty dry. A lot of the springs that were flowing are definitely, starting to shrink up, and some gone completely. Grass is dying out, and we've had a few big fires. Luckily, most of them have been down south towards 24, but it's definitely dry.
Gotcha. Trevor, why don't you tell the listeners kind of the areas, where you live and kind of the areas that you focus on most?
We're here on the eastern side of the state, about midway up. The units we typically hunt for elk is 111 through 115, then 221 through 223, 231, 131 through 134, and 121.
Okay, so dry conditions in the last month and a half, but good, they were going good going into the spring, so I would assume the antler growth is pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's luckily most of our stuff was 85% or so done on the elk by the time this stuff started drying up. And even them north slopes are still holding a lot of, good green grass that we've really never had it bad for our elk.
How's your age class? I know you and I have talked about how important you feel age class is in getting those bulls, really big and getting to the size that you guys want to harvest. How are your units holding up as far as age class?
They're doing pretty good. I know the last few years Nevada has gone away with actually collecting samples on teeth for aging. When they were doing it, it wasn't all that great. I mean, it was 6 year old, average.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's across the state. I do feel like it could be skewed one way or the other with guides typically trying to harvest an older animal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think some guys that obviously, if you harvest a lesser animal or just say a young, small one, I don't think they really cared to take the teeth in.
Sure, sure. Makes sense. And some of the bulls that you've been watching, where you've been able to say, okay, that's, I'm sure you nickname them or whatever. And would you say that for the most part, this year's antlers on most of those bulls that you kind of have pegged are better than last year, or would you say the antler growth compared to last year on those same bulls is similar or worse?
I say similar. We've honestly always had it pretty good. Um, the only time, like I'd mentioned before, we've only really seen a down year in the elk was a super hard winter that gave us plenty of snowpack and plenty of moisture running off of that. But it was so hard for the winter for them to make it through that their horn growth was down.
Yeah, they're in Colorado. I'm the hunt manager there at the Ot 6 Ranch, and I know that last year we had, quite a bit of snow. It stayed cold really, really late, and the snow stayed around. And to be honest with you, the year before in 18, when it was a really dry, what I would call mild winter, dry winter, and actually dry kind of summer season, the antlers were much better. And then this year were just kind of an average winter year, but they weren't. In other words, they weren't struggling to get on green feed early because there wasn't tons of snow and it didn't stay cold. I think the bulls this year in Colorado will be good again. Can you speak a little bit about that? Talking about a bad antler growth year, you're talking about where you had too much snow in the winter, and am I right in assuming that those bulls didn't get on green feed early, and that's when you saw it affect the antler growth?
Yeah, in a sense, I'm not obviously a biologist or studied just from what I've known and seen over the years. Is to me, it's a lot of the fat preserves that they carry over into the growth year.
Interesting.
You know, to,
Mm-hmm.
that's how I see like a lot of these ranch bulls or anything that's not using burning a lot of calories or fat. That they grow so big. They just lay around and eat all day. They're not having to burn any of them calories and fat preserves to make it, and they just grow like crazy. As to where here, we've seen where they've had to struggle through the winter and used up a lot of their body fat and supply. That's really affected them. In my eyes, from what we've seen.
Coming up, we've got, I believe, archery seasons and then firearm seasons. Talk a little bit about Nevada's structure and the seasons that you have here coming up over the next couple weeks to month.
Right now, as August 1st, the auction tag holders and the silver state tag holders, it opened for them for the animals. And then August 25th through September 16th will be the archery season. We have seen a few bulls rubbed early, whether that's could mean they'll start rutting early. I'm not sure yet, but this year we have seen a few more bulls rubbed off earlier than we have in the past. And we had seen a lot of them finish pretty early.
So just so I'm clear, we're sitting August 5th and you've already got bulls fully rubbed?
Yep.
Like what percentage would you say? And of that percentage, how many of those are, old, mature type bulls?
Um, it's still a very low percentage, let's say maybe 10%,
Okay.
15. But the ones we have seen have been, definitely older, mature bulls.
So
The
so a lot
best
of the
one.
bigger bulls have rubbed already.
I wouldn't say a lot, but, the ones that were rubbed that we've seen have been, bigger.
Gotcha.
Probably the best one, looked to be, 380 type bull that he was rubbed. But then we still got, some 380 type in the velvet.
So with it being dry over the last month and a half, does it affect bugling it at all as far as, you know, would it maybe make them not, really get to rutting early, or what are you anticipating?
It's just, you never know. We've had years where it's cold and, rain and them bulls are quiet. We've had them hot and dry and going like crazy. It's just, again, I have no rhyme or reason to why they're doing it one way or the other, but it just seems to be whenever it's going to happen, it happens.
Yeah, makes sense. Talk a little bit about your season with the archery season being, ending on the 16th. Um, do you feel like if you could get, another couple weeks of archery hunting, you almost feel like you just have to quit and are just really getting cranking, or kind of how does that fall?
Yeah, definitely. If we could hunt, one more week in there would make a huge difference in the calling part of it. We've been pretty lucky to where I'd say probably 75% of the bulls we've killed have been just spot and stock. So we're not really relying on the calling,
Yep.
just making sure we can try to get in there. But it definitely picks up, towards the end of that. And I know some of the seasons run later in other states, like Arizona, I believe, runs a little later.
Yep. When it comes to, you're a young guy, but you've been around big bulls your whole life with your uncles and dad and all that stuff. When it comes to big bulls, and if you were giving advice to people out there that have elk tags, maybe some of the guys that are newer, for you, what is it that's stands out on bulls and things that you look for? For you to say, yeah, that's a really good bull. I mean, obviously the big mega giants, everyone goes, that's a big bull. But I mean, what are you looking for, and what advice could you give to people out there as far as kind of looking at bulls and judging them?
We've kind of been, on somewhat an unsaid rule of if they've got at least three big points that are, better than average. So, if they're all three up front, running 20s, he could still only have, 6-inch fists and still be a 380 type bull. Or, the other way around. If he's got, 15-inch fronts, but he's got, 22-inch royals and 16, 17-inch fists and he's wide, he's still going to push them numbers out there.
Right. So you're looking for three characteristics. You're looking for three long points, and don't get focused if something's short. If he's making it up with, long 1, 2, 3s, or if it's 3, 4, 5s are long, and um, that's what you're looking for is long points and on at least 3 points.
Yeah, we've just kind of felt that that'll push them numbers still over to, a shooter type bull as to where if you get focused on, like I said, one small point and you pass, that, you may regret it. We had one archery bull a few years ago that he was a giant. I mean, he still only had like a 5-inch fit on the one side, but he still ended up grossing over 400.
Right.
And lots of guys, I'd posted on Instagram, Facebook, and we're like, hey, this is what it scores. And they're like, no, it doesn't. No, no way. And show them the score sheet and, 58-inch beams, 60 inches in total mass or better, super wide, and just it makes up for it.
One thing about Nevada, it seems like Nevada gets a lot of really nice wide bulls. Do you are you so used to that maybe you don't realize it, or would you agree that yes, I mean, compared to a lot of states, they've got some wide bulls?
Yeah, we definitely, grow some wide ones here, and then we're on the other end of the spectrum too, is the where we've still had, 37-inch wide bulls and that close to 400. And them are the exceptional ones. It's got, 20s pretty
Giant
much all
beams.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even that one that netted to 399 and 6/8, he's only got 51.5-inch beams.
Must just have
37.
points everywhere, long points.
Yeah, he was just basically a 6-point frame. He only had an inch and a half six, but he was, on the long points, he was 19, 23, 23, 23, 17,
Yeah.
and 50. We actually had another guy when we were hunting him, another archery hunter. They ran into him while we were out there, and we had asked him about the bull, and they said, yeah, he's a pretty good bull, but he's not very wide.
Yeah, I
Didn't
mean,
realize he's 400 inches, but because they thought he was narrow, they didn't think he was big.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when it comes to the percentage of score, width is the fourth factor, the very least factor. So people need to keep that in mind. But also, if you have a really wide bull, if you're figuring around 40 inches kind of average, but you've got a really wide bull, I mean, the stays 46, 47, or even wider. I mean, you can easily pick up 6, 7 inches right there that you weren't even thinking about. Um, to me, I think, it's all about point length and main beams. If you got a bull that's got really good beams and really good point length, you're going to have a good scoring bull. And even like what you're saying, you've seen bulls that have really long points and they're only 50, 51 on the beam, but they're still big. So points make up for the highest percentage of score. And it seems like Nevada bulls, they get really good. It seems like to me like first, second, thirds, fourths. I mean, you can get some 23, 24-inch thirds and 25, 26-inch fourths. I've seen it come out of Nevada. Um, just a phenomenal state. A lot of people. Do you believe that it's still a little bit under the radar as far as the stigma of great bull elk states? I mean, it consistently produces giants.
Yeah, I definitely do. And to me and my, I obviously haven't broke out the math, but per capita, I would say we're number one.
I
You
would,
know,
yeah. I mean, I would say in the number of elk that you kill per size. I mean, you guys are killing big bulls on late hunts even.
yeah, yeah, we're still getting them, and luckily they're not breaking up too bad. Um, but just overall number of elk, again, I feel, you know, some like the way of not knowing the actual numbers, but
Yeah,
I'd say we're still under 20,000 for the whole state, for number of elk.
yeah. Um,
As
all right, let's talk a little bit about mule deer. Would you would you argue or agree that you are definitely way more focused on elk than deer, but then once elk season is finished, then you kind of focus on the bucks?
yeah, yeah, definitely. And kind of our biggest focus with the elk too is where we're watching a lot more better ones, obviously, because they finish earlier.
Right.
We've seen bucks, and that's kind of my thoughts this year is that bucks are behind and bulls finished early.
Yeah. Okay.
You
Interesting.
know,
So
yep,
the bucks are lagging, meaning they're still growing, and like a buck that you've seen, you're like, wow, he's not where he should be yet. And then, but where elk have maybe finished and hardened up and finished out early, it's opposite with the deer.
yep, yeah. You'd see one buck that's standing right next to one, and one's almost done, and the other one's still got 3, 4 inches on each point.
Yeah. So you also cat hunt, do a lot of lion hunting, don't you?
Yes, sir.
When does that really kick off?
We usually start that pretty hard about mid-December once we get done with the late elk hunt, and then hunt a week or two with sheep if the guys are there.
Right. How did the draw end up for you this year on sheep? You got many clients or?
Yeah, we got one sheep guy, one of the guys we hunted elk with. Unfortunately, it's not a great unit, but a desert tag in Nevada is pretty hard to come by, so people take what they can get.
For sure. For sure. Well, I'm excited to see how the season unfolds for you. When it's all said and done, do you think it's going to be average or one of the better years you've had in a while?
I think it's got potential to be one of the better. I mean, we're turning up a lot of really good, rifle season bulls, and ones we'll be chasing in the archery hunt. Just pray and hope we can get it done.
Yeah,
But it's looking, to be a phenomenal year for sure for the elk.
that's
And like I
great.
said, deer, it's hard to really say because we haven't hit it real hard yet. They're still just kind of finishing, but
Right on. Well, I appreciate you giving us the report there in Nevada, and I know you're busy. I appreciate you taking out your time scouting to chat with us. And for those of you that are on Instagram, make sure to follow Trevor on Bull Ridge Guide Service on Instagram. I'll link it up in the show notes. And Trevor, I appreciate your time, buddy.
all right. Thank you, Jay.
All right, knock 'em dead. Okay,
All right. Take care.
bye.